And recording, got it. Well, welcome everyone to our weekly ACTIVZ corporate update call. I apologize beforehand for my rough look. As I mentioned yesterday, I am traveling. I'm in Utah, so in David and Angie's neck of the woods. I took 11 Hawaii kids to these football camps here in Utah. We're enjoying ourselves. They're competing just as each and every one of you are competing at ACTIVZ. So we appreciate the teamwork. That's what I've been seeing this week, the teamwork, the hustle, the courageousness, the boldness, the efforts that everyone has been showing and sharing, whether it's on the field or off the field. I think there's a lot of similarities between the way you play sports and the way you conduct your business. And each and every one of your captains and are leaders of your teams. So I really appreciate everyone for logging in. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and send a reminder to your teams that we are having this corporate update call. And as always, if you were invited by someone on this call, please let us know in the chat so we can make sure that those who invited you will receive some product bonus points for inviting you. We want to grow this thing each week. And the way we can do it is by your network. Each week has certain updates that we give, much as since we're halfway through the month, we're already up at least 10% from last month. So the fact that we are growing and it's only half the month is a great sign, and it shows your efforts that everyone is doing within your own teams to make ACTIVZ as a whole grow. And so we really appreciate everyone's hard work and willingness to, during these hot summer months, to get out there and build your business. With that being said, since we're halfway through the month, and if this is your first time, I want to turn the time over to Angie, who will be reminding and letting everyone know what our promotion is.
All right, thanks, Stu. So our promotion is for, excuse me, for the month of June, we are celebrating our fathers. So we have a great Father's Day promotion where if you buy 200 PV of product, then you'll get a free set of Amora. And you're probably thinking, I said this last week, but you're probably thinking, what does Amora have to do with Father's Day? But fathers should be using the Amora set too. We talked about this last week. The toner, the Amora toner, it's not really a toner, it's more of an essence. We called it a toner because most people don't know what an essence is. So if you see the name of it, it's actually called an essence toner. So it doesn't have the harsh alcohols or that drying effect or the burning effect. So the toner, the Amora toner, is actually a great before and after shave. And our fathers need to be looking just as good as our mothers. So we want them to be using our Amora products. The Amora was designed for everyone to use, from the mud to the toner to the serum. Everyone can be using all of the Amora products. So be sure to get your father a great Father's Day gift. Get him, get your 200 PV order placed, or enroll someone with 200 PV, and they will get a free set of Amora. But that is our June Father's Day promotion. Along with that, we have our 500 Club that is running. So we started the 500 Club again in May. So May, June, and July, you have 3 months to enroll 10 people on 200 PV or more to be qualified for the 500 Club. So this is a great time. Get the free set of Amora with the 200 PV enrollments. And your new enrollee would be the one that would get the free set of Amora. So enroll someone on 200 PV, they get the free set of Amora, and that goes towards your qualification of the 500 Club. If you've already qualified for the 500 Club, you can run for it again during this time. If you're a new person to ACTIVZ, you have 90 days from the time you enrolled to qualify for the 500 Club. So those are the two promotions that we have running in the month of June. They're great promotions. Like I said, get your order of 200 PV in, get your free set of Amora, and start running. If you haven't, start running for the 500 Club. So Stu, that's what we have going on for in the month of June.
Thank you, Angie. I'm so excited. And don't forget, everyone on this call, whether you're a male or female, it's Father's Day this Sunday for all those who are lucky enough to still have their father with them. Like myself, make sure we We treat our fathers who raised us as wonderful young men and women the way that they deserve. So don't forget about our monthly promotion. I'm pretty sure our fathers would be happy with our essential toner. But even if it's not that, just a phone call saying how much you love him will go a long ways. So I appreciate that. Just to let everyone know that on our YouTube channel, as Angie started this call, if you just go on YouTube and type ACTIVZ, you'll get onto our YouTube channel, and that's where we post a lot of our videos. And one of our videos that is up there is the latest active schools that we had this past Saturday. We had great information from Claudia, Coco, and a combination of Julie and Sherry that presented, that gave concrete examples and tools that we can use on either social media or ways that we can build our business, whether it's for a newcomer, what you can do in your first 30 days, or for those who have been in the business but haven't seen any growth. The ideas, the information, the examples that they shared will all be on our YouTube channel in the video. If you miss our weekly or our monthly active schools, feel free to log on to our YouTube channel and take a look at that. I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciated our presenters who presented on Saturday. It was very edifying. And also we had one of our largest groups that participated that Saturday. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us and for inviting people. Let's continue to see if we can get it higher. And I'm pretty sure that if we do, Angie and David will probably do something special on our raffles. So continue to log on, to learn from our leaders. Any information is good information. We can apply it at different times and for different situations. Like I said, just like football, there's 10 million coaches out there. Not one of them can teach you something bad, but it's just something different. And the way we use it and how we apply it into our sports skills, or whether it's our business skills, that will be up to you. So, information is good. It's a very a good learning experience. So with that being said, I have set the stage for our guest speaker today, originally from the Boston area, but he currently lives in the Atlanta area now. He comes originally from a family of 12, big family. So I'm pretty sure that he knows how it is to fight for the food at the dinner table. But he's also in Jerry, one of our FAB members line, Lucas Madonia. He has a lot of experiences and in fact, a lot of failures as well in network marketing. But the thing that he noticed that he learned from it is through struggles, you can get success. And I'm so grateful that Jerry and both Lucas have seen success already here at ACTIVZ. He's came back to ACTIVZ and he's currently in 8-2, but he's on his way up. We've been working with Lucas and talking back and forth between Jerry, Lucas, and myself for the past 2 weeks. He also is a public speaker. So I know he's very versed at different things in life and also experiences. So the thing that he's going to speak with us today is the struggles and how to overcome it. With that being said, Lucas, the floor is now yours. Lucas, you need to take yourself off mute. I think you're still muted.
It's funny. I have Zoom meetings every week that I'm on, and every single time they say before you get started, please unmute yourself. So that's the first time it's happened in a while. But thank you. I appreciate that introduction. Yeah, I do come from a big Italian family. My parents had 6 boys and 6 girls. Sadly, we lost two of the younger daughters, passed away in 2018, and my old dad lost his battle with dementia last year. But there's a lot of truth to the statement that what doesn't bring you out, what doesn't kill you actually does make you stronger. So in my time with network marketing, oftentimes I chased after what sparkled, that which looked better than what actually was, instead of actually following something that I was passionate about. I have a background in a lot of different areas when it comes to my employment. And one of the backgrounds was spending some time on a government contract at the National Institutes of Health. So when I was first introduced to Dr. McCord and his work and where it was researched, that's what really stood out to me. And I remember thinking to myself, whoever comes across his research and what's been done here is going to absolutely have nothing but a massively positive impact in their life. But however, sometimes in life we make choices that we don't always give full thought to as to what the consequences will be, or even even the positive. Sometimes we don't give full thought, so we have to constantly really give full thought to what our reason is. Why are we doing this? Why are we involved in a business? What is our ultimate goal? And if we don't have a goal, we need to start setting them. If we don't have a reason, we need to dig down deep inside and find it. For me, I grew up, even though I had a big family, some of it wasn't positive, and I spent a lot of my life feeling out of place, feeling like I didn't belong and I didn't fit in. And I outside of this moment being within ACTIVZ, every single time I was with a network marketing company, I felt that way. I felt I don't belong here. This is not for me. This is not the right fit. And people in this company like Jerry and Paige that I've known for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years now, they have done something that a lot of people in my personal life have never done. They never quit on me and never gave up. They kept reaching out. And that stood out to me about this company, because in previous companies, I would either be told I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, or I'd have a small growing team reaching out to the leadership, looking for help, looking for support, and getting no response. And in this case, I have not experienced that. I've had nothing but the opposite. It's been an absolutely incredible experience reaching out to my leadership and knowing 100% that they're going to respond. And within the last couple of weeks, Jerry and myself, we got to talking in depth about our personal goals within the company and how we can support each other. And it brought to mind the image of a relay race, and the fact that, in a large race, maybe like the Boston Marathon or the New York Marathon, it's 26.5 miles. Even though you might be, training with other people and you might be making all these efforts, with a large group, ultimately you're in that race on your own. Now, granted, you're not always trying to beat everybody. The goal is just to get to the finish line. But it's different with a relay race because you're working with a team. You're working hand in hand with other people that all have the same goal. And you have to get the timing right. You have to pay attention to what other people are doing. And the more that you do, then the more the goal is reached, because as you're running, you have to make sure that you're reaching that next person at the right point in order to hand that baton off, so that that person can just take off like they're ready for it. And it takes training, it takes practice, it takes consistent effort. And, it's that in itself really is different from a lot of what's proclaimed and advertised in life, where, you just do one thing a couple of times and your whole life is going to change. No, it takes consistency, it takes effort. And that's how these people in these relay races and marathons, that's how they become so successful, is they train, they have a goal, they have a vision inside their mind of what it's going to take for them to succeed at the biggest possible level. Even if they don't ever get to number one, as long as they reach their goals, they know they've accomplished something. And that's something that I've experienced here within ACTIVZ. And I'm still fixing things. I'm still trying to figure stuff out, because, one time in a previous company that I was in, I literally put out publicly into the social media page that the company had, I said the words, "I need help. I don't know what I'm doing." You know how many people responded? Nobody. And I said, and after my team reached out to the leadership and all of them got ignored, I said, you know what? I'm going back to where I felt loved. And that's when Jerry reconnected with me and said, "Hey man, you've made some money." And I said, "Really? I haven't been working the business in a few months." He said, "Yeah, you've made some money. Let's get you going again." And I said, "Yeah, I'm in this." So we have great leadership here. We have great team members, and we have arguably the best health and wellness product on the planet. And if you don't believe it, documentation beats conversation every single time. And the material that Dr. McCord has come out with means we have the golden ticket. It means we have what's going to not only change our life when it comes to our health, but if the goal is to change our life financially, We have something in our hands that is absolutely going to do that. Here's the best thing about it, though. We don't have to do it alone. We have a lot of people that are willing to help us every single step of the way. The only thing you have to do is be a part of the team and ask for help. And if you're still struggling, keep asking, because that's what we're told. We were told that thousands of years ago. If you keep asking, it will be answered. If you keep on knocking, that door will be opened. So seriously, I'm an example of what it takes, of not what it takes, but an example of overcoming adversity and still being around to talk about it. I've been through quite a few things. Can't go into detail on everything because, want to keep the time a little bit limited here. But if I can overcome some of the stuff I've gotten through, you can do it. If I can succeed at this, which success is happening, you can do it. And again, you're not alone. We have a team that's going to absolutely help every single one of us get there. That's all I got. I appreciate your time.
Lucas, that was amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. I really mean it. It was amazing. I know about 3 weeks ago, we asked Jerry to talk at our weekly corporate call, and immediately he told me about you and your story. And man, I'm inspired. You took the words right out of Trisha's mouth that she used yesterday. We have the best company, whether you're in health or wealth. We have wonderful products, as you pointed out, and it's all science-based. It's not something that David and Angie made in their basement that they think it would help people. No, it's proven. There's documentation on it, and I support that 100%. Not only the data, but my body feels it as well. And for those who are willing to make a change, a lifestyle change, there's no other place, both mentally, physically, economically, emotionally, than ACTIVZ, because of our wonderful members like Lucas, Jerry, and Paige. Thank you for your example and your leadership in working with your downline people like Lucas. And that's what makes this business the best industry in the world. And that's why I love this industry. For over 20 years now, I've been in this industry in some kind of capacity. And it's stories like yours, Lucas, that really hits home. And it's people like all those on this call and their uplines that create relationships that doesn't only last for the moment that you're here at ACTIVZ, but it goes generations to kids, to people's children, to grandchildren's, and to other business ventures eventually. And so the fact that we do have something special here at ACTIVZ, Lucas, thank you for reiterating that and for sharing your experiences. Once again, thank you, Jerry and Paige, for your wonderful leadership, as well as Angie and David, being the CEO and the COO, always being on calls with people, both weekly, but also daily. And with that being said, I will hand and turn the time over to our wonderful CEO, David Brown, who is actually the quarterback of our company, both literally and figuratively here. And so he will give us our closing comments to wrap this call up. The floor is now yours, David.
Thanks, Stu. For those of you that don't know, that's a little bit of an inside joke between Stu and me. We both played high school football. We're both about the same height, and I did play quarterback, but Stu went on to fame and glory playing for a university, whereas my career pretty much ended at good old South Summit High School. But hey, that's a totally different story. But amen to everything Lucas said. Great job. I want to talk a little bit about that. I also want to congratulate Claudia and Coco and Julia and Sherry for what I understand was a marvelous active school on Saturday. Despite the fact that Stu says I'm on all the calls, you noticed I wasn't on the call on Saturday, but I had a good excuse. I was actually in Cabo San Lucas with my wife celebrating our 36th anniversary. And so I know all of you are saying, well, there's no way it can be 36 years old unless they let you get married at 2 years old. But I can tell you that that's because Amora is working. And that's my story. I'm sticking with it. If you don't think I look young, well, then we're probably gonna knock you down a rank or two at least. I can also tell you that what Stu said in terms of the products not being made in my basement, I'm actually in my basement. This is my office in my basement. As you can see, there's no lab, there's nothing like that behind me. So no, the products are real, and like Lucas said, you don't have to depend upon our word for it. You can Google it. There's a lot of independent corroboration. But you know, it's interesting. I don't know if you've done anything unusual lately, but when I mentioned that I was in Cabo, I did something unusual that I hadn't done for a long time. No, I'm not necessarily a morning person. I used to be. I grew up on a ranch, and we had to get up early to do chores, and so I was used to getting up early. But as I got older, I became more of a night person. But I started when I was in Cabo, I got up every morning to watch the sunrise because it was beautiful, coming up over the beach and everything like that. And it reminded me of when I used to get up really early and why I did. Some of you know that I speak Japanese, and I learned to speak Japanese while serving as a missionary. Well, before you go to the country where you're assigned, you have some rudimentary studying, 2 months in my case of studying Japanese. It wasn't enough. I could learn how to say really important things like, where's the bathroom? That's always really important to know in a new language, all those type of things. But as Claudia and others know, it's really hard to learn another language unless you're in that country where that language is spoken. And so I went to Japan, and I had someone you're assigned to, and he had been in Japan for a long time. So I could rely upon him to speak Japanese. Then he got transferred, and somebody else came in who's frankly with Japanese was worse than mine. And I'd only been out a few months. And I may have told this story before, but we had an appointment to go talk with a family. And to this day, I think we remain part of that family's story when they look back on, like, do you remember that time when those two Americans came to our house and they tried to speak Japanese, and they were here for an hour and we couldn't understand anything that they said, and they couldn't understand anything that we said? Wasn't that funny? And I'm sure, but it wasn't funny to me. In fact, it was very, very disheartening and very kind of humiliating, to tell you the truth, because studies had always come easy to me. School had always been easy. And I had learned a lot of vocabulary in Japanese. I've learned the basic principles of grammar, but that didn't mean that I could speak the language very well. And so I committed myself to do something. I was already getting up pretty early. I was already up by 6 o'clock every day to begin studying. But I said that I was going to do something different. And so I committed myself to getting up no later than 4 o'clock in the morning to study. And I studied and I studied and I memorized vocabulary and I read grammar books and things like that. And I really worked hard. But you know what? One thing I also learned is that no matter how much knowledge you might have in your head, no matter how much information you've got in your head, if you don't open your mouth and speak and be willing to make mistakes, guess what? It doesn't matter. And so what I had to do, I had to couple that activity of getting up early and doing extraordinary effort beyond what I'd done before, with a desire to use what I was learning. And I can tell you that it made a big difference. My Japanese improved immensely over a pretty quick period of time. You know, I wouldn't say that I got to native fluency level, but and I made lots of mistakes. You have to be willing to make lots of mistakes. I've made, you know, I've told you about some of my mistakes when I asked a woman to kill her husband instead of call her husband, when I asked someone to please urinate instead of please introduce me. There are lots of fun things I did like that. But you know, you still stick with it. And so I was thinking about that as I was listening to Lucas and wondering, you know, if you're not approaching the finish line in your marathon, if you seem to be going backwards instead of making progress forward, maybe you have to do what I had to do. I had to examine myself and say, okay, are the efforts that I'm entering into, that I'm doing every day, frankly, are they enough? Are they enough to get me where I want to go? And then number two is, do I know what I'm doing? Do I need to change things? I thought it was really telling when he said, "Help! I don't know what I'm doing." You know, that takes a lot of humility and somebody that really does want to learn and grow to face the potential humiliation of somebody saying, "What do you mean you know what you're doing? Can't you read this? Can't you read this fast start program? Can't you do what I'm doing? Haven't you watched any of the videos? Haven't you done any?" I mean, that's kind of our knee-jerk response, right? Hey, there's tons of information out there. Just go learn it. Well, no, it's not always that easy. And so I would encourage all of us to really examine our game plan. If we're not succeeding like we want to do we have the knowledge? Do we know what we're doing? Or do we think we know what we're doing? Or are we just kind of faking it like I was? Number two, are we working hard enough? Are we putting enough time into it? Now, when I say hard enough, this is not a qualitative or a quantitative judgment. You're all independent distributors. You're not employees. We're not going to tell you how hard you ought to work every day or what you ought to do every day. It's really a desire that you have. But I would just simply posit to each of you. Sorry, as a recovering lawyer, I have to use words like posit every once in a while or they kick me out of the club. I would simply put it out there for all of you that if you're not getting towards the goal as fast as you'd like, it really boils down to two things, knowledge and effort. And if you're deficient in any one of those two things, fix it. And if you're not sure how to fix it, my suggestion is, just like he did, go to somebody who seems to be succeeding, who seems to have more knowledge than you do, and simply correct it. And it sounds simple. I know it's not simple. Life is not easy. And sometimes sometimes I ask myself, why is it that we are having such rank advancements amongst our Spanish-speaking distributors? Why are we growing so fast in these other countries? And why are we not we're having good growth, but why are we not having the same success here amongst English speakers in the United States? I actually don't have a magic answer for that. Part of me sometimes says, well, maybe it's because we have it easier here in the States, and the people in these other countries, this is really their only vehicle. This is their chance to make a lot of money. Well, there's some truth to that. But it doesn't mean that everyone that's succeeding in Mexico or Colombia or Peru or Spanish speakers in the United States are impoverished people who don't have any other opportunity. That's not true. We have people who are doctors. We have people who are successful business people. And so then I thought, well, it's kind of a myth also that all successful athletes came from the ghetto or came from, really poor circumstances. The greatest basketball player in the world, Michael Jordan, in my opinion, he didn't come from a poor background. He came from a very good upper middle class, both parents in the home background in Wilmington, North Carolina. So he didn't have that edge saying, man, I got to get myself out of the ghetto. I got to get myself out of the hood. I got to do all that kind of stuff. But what he did do was he would manufacture reasons. You've all heard the story that the one thing that really drove Michael Jordan was that he didn't make the basketball team as a freshman. That's kind of true, and it's kind of not true. Okay, what is true is that he didn't make the varsity basketball team as a 14-year-old freshman, but he did make the freshman team, and he was on the JV team. He just didn't make the varsity team. But you know what? He viewed that as such a slight that the coach didn't see what his potential was, that he allowed that, which in most people's case, I was very thankful to make the freshman basketball team at a very small school at South Summit High School. I wasn't thinking that I was slighted, that I wasn't now being elevated to the varsity. Michael Jordan had to manufacture something. And he talks about that. If you've ever seen The Last Dance, I know that Eric Albrecht has been watching that like it's the game plan for every success in life, and there may be something to that. But if you go throughout his career, Michael Jordan kind of manufactured slights, things to give him an edge, things to give him to work for. And he's not the only one to do that. Now, I'm not advocating that you manufacture a slight and say, man, David Brown doesn't think I can do this. Every day I'm going to get up and prove that guy wrong. No, I do think you can do it. But what I would say is that if manufacture, come up with something that's going to drive you to the level of activity necessary to reach your goals. That's what I would challenge all of us to do. What is it that will drive us? Because if we're not making our goals, there's three possible reasons. One is that all this talk about rank advancement and making money is a bunch of crock and it's not true. Well, that's not true. We have people doing it. So there it goes, that one out the window. The next potential answer is maybe I'm just not working hard enough to accomplish what I want to accomplish, not what somebody else wants me to accomplish, what I want to accomplish. So do I need to rearrange my schedule? Do I need to do less of this and more of that? And number three is, do I know what I'm doing? Do I have the knowledge? We face this all the time as we review employees. It's not fair for us if an employee is not performing well. There's really only a couple of reasons for that. One is that they're not working hard enough, or maybe they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're not sure as to what their task is. So from a company standpoint, it's really incumbent upon us to make sure that we're clear. This is what we expect of you. This is, and we hope that you bring the knowledge and the skills necessary to do it. But if there's any uncertainty and the employee doesn't perform, it's really not that person's fault. It's that we weren't clear in what they should do. And so that clarity of goal, that clarity of purpose, and that clarity in what we're willing to do to drive for that is really important. And then finally, I can tell you that linking arms with other people who are like-minded and who have faith in you, I think is really important, because when we feel all this burden upon ourselves, upon our own shoulders, it can be tough, and self-doubt can creep in. And Stu mentioned Father's Day coming up. I was really, really, really fortunate to have a father who believed in me and would tell me and my brothers and sisters things like, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And he really believed it. And well, at least I thought he believed it, until I got a letter, okay? I got a letter back when people still wrote letters, when I was at Cornell Law School. And in this letter, my dad said, he wrote to me, he goes, wow, David, when you were hauling hay in the fields, did you ever dream that you'd be able to go to an Ivy League law school? I'm like, hello? Sure I did. You told me I could do anything I wanted. Was that just all a lie? Were you just making that stuff up? And of course he wasn't, but he did plant that seed of ability, of inspiration, that really, if I wanted something badly enough, we could do it. And that's, I can tell you that I'm lucky to have people like Angie and Ryan and Stu and everyone else that really believes that what we're doing here at ACTIVZ is something that's not only worthwhile, but is really going to succeed, because we are defying the odds in terms of what companies do. We're going to make it. We're succeeding, and we're going to continue to succeed. And so I'll just close by saying, if those seeds of self-doubt have been planted and are growing more than you'd like them to, and if you don't have that backup, those people who have your back, I think you do in your uplines and in the people that are on this call. But if you don't, give me a call, man. Because I believe in every single person on this call. I believe that your potential is unlimited, is boundless. And I don't just say that. And the reason I say that is because I know that with the relatively small supply of talent and ability that I have, if I'm able to do something, you guys, with the talent that I've seen exhibited by you, can accomplish tremendous things. I tell people all the time that they're trying to learn Japanese. I said, listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Seriously. And I don't say that just to say it. I really, truly believe that each of us are imbued with talents and abilities and strengths that we simply have to unleash. It's an epigenetic effect. And you have epigenetic products that are unleashing your genes in other ways. Let these ones go too, and allow those thoughts to distill upon your mind and upon your brain, and act upon them every single day. So I'm excited about what all of you are doing. Whether you feel like you're succeeding to the extent you'd like to or not, you are also defying the odds. You really are the best thing about ACTIVZ, and the best product, the best representation that we could ever make. Better than videos, better than charts, better than our epigenetic products. The best, absolute, finest product that we offer are the people that associate themselves with us. And I'm grateful to have you with us. So thanks, everybody, and hope you have a great week. Angie, back to you, or Stu.
Thank you, David. And I just want to point out, we have a special, I won't say guest, but a special distributor on today, Dr. Ana Maria Daza from Bolivia. And it kind of speaks to what David's talking about, is that, if you work hard enough, if you believe in yourself, you can accomplish great things. And she is proof of that. She's been working in a country that we're not open in. She's in Bolivia, and she's reached the rank of A9. And we just want to congratulate her for reaching that rank on this call. But to also show that if you put in enough effort, if you believe in yourself, you can do amazing things. So thank you, David, for the great message. And I think at this point, we can go ahead and we'll do our raffle for product credits. So let me pull up the screen and share our list of names. So give me 1 second here. All right, so this will be for 60 reward points. And here we go. We're going to do our spin. the chat, then we'll get you the 60 reward points. I thought we were going to have a double speaker reward point, because I think last time our speaker are 1 reward points. That was close, Lucas. We should give you reward points for doing such a great job. But all right, Stu, do we have anything else?
That is it. So thank you everyone for joining, all those that shared some thoughts, really appreciate it. And also for those who are your first time participating, make sure you let us know in the chat so we can get those that invited you the rewards point as well. But thanks everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you next week. Feel free to invite other members in your team. And thank you so much for being a part of ACTIVZ. You guys have a great day. Bye.
See you, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.